we think the investment in hike bike kayak was a smart move? In hindsight, no.
Yeah, I would say no.
Those guys kind of just are left like picking up the crumbs or whatever they can get, and you know, it's hard for them to scrape by because there's not a whole lot left for them.
One of the other companies,
The same company.
Put together this financial analysis of fees and revenues and all that kind of stuff and turned it into the city. And when we went down to get our slots we do this draft thing to get our time slots for the summer. I walk in to get my time slots and I'm at 9. I've always had 9. I get my little piece of paper that says 6. I'm like, what? Like, why do I only have 6 slots? And on the back side of that is this whole financial summary that says presented by San Diego Bike and Kayak on the back side. I'm like, oh, really? So the city's using this financial analysis to take away 33% of my earnings capability? And this is how I find out? In front of all of my peers, in front of all of my city, in the city and everything else, and this is how I'm going to find out about it? So that was a real backhanded, blindsided thing by both them and the city.
Keeps running. It's an 89 Ford. God, I don't think it'll ever die. It'd be shameful to go out of business because we can't afford to replace a truck. Has owning the business strengthened or strained our marriage? Probably both, a little bit on a scale. Yeah, I mean, you know, it's business. Ange runs the office because she knows how to do all that stuff, and that's very stressful. I get to do the fun part. I get to do tours. You know, I'm out on the water or on a bike all the time. And
yeah.
When we first got into the business, we envisioned both of us being able to do that stuff, right? But because she knows the finances, and I could never do it as well as she does it. I just, you know, first of all, I'm not that particular. I just, you know, get it done. Sloppy sometimes. But she's, you know, she knows how to do that stuff. She's educated in it, and so it kind of falls on her by default. So she gets that part. So that, in that way, it strains, you know, strains the marriage a little bit because she doesn't get to do the fun stuff.
Yeah, I'd say it strains it, but then through all that strain, like we go through some times where it's tough, but then we always come out okay. And I think at the end of the day, we both say to each other, you know what, our marriage is worth more than this business or anything else. So at least we have right now solid heads on our shoulders as far as what's important and what we're, you know, where our priorities lie. But I think what he says is super true. Like we thought, because I'm a really active person, like to be outdoors, and I'm in here all the time. And who would have ever thought that running a kayak shop was so much paperwork and workman's comp and all of the stuff we have to do for the city, and just you'd never think, you'd think, oh, that's such a cool business, it's so much fun, you're just down at the beach, and there's a lot that goes on behind the scenes with all the employees and all the stuff that you have to do. I wouldn't have ever thought that.
I would definitely walk away from the business before.
Oh. You're gonna try and make me cry? Thanks, sweetie. You're gonna cry too.
I know. I'm a softie too.
We're babies.